going live. Got my two monitors going, trying to bring y'all in a little closer so I can see your comments. Okay. Hey, everybody. Black and Proud. This is our little tribute. That's our tribute to the JB, to James Brown. It came to my heart today. Actually, it was earlier this week and today. Because he's had like one of the longest estate settlements in history. And he did a good job of getting his stuff in writing, which is amazing. Amazing. He did it right. But that doesn't mean that everybody's not going to fight about it. That's what happened. That's what happened. Let me see how my stuff is over here. I'll share everything. Everybody okay? Great. I want to put on here. Woo! When I post this, it's going to be Black and Proud. Say it loud. I'm Black and I'm proud. Yes, we are. Black and Proud. Thank you so much, everybody, for sharing your Wednesday night with me. I got lucky. My Bucks won last night. Well, then I don't think it started last night till about 9 o'clock. So I still would have been good, right? I still would have been good. But I can't even say his last name. But y'all know the brother showed out. So I was so glad that the Bucks won. It was a very, very, very good game. Yes, thank God for my husband watching it. But he's gonna be like, you trying to act like it was your idea? I would have missed it. I would have missed everything. But I just thought it was funny because he was going for the other team, and why I switched to the other one, I don't know. And when that brother hurt his leg, like when his knee did that, and then he, came back that way. Just stayed, like it didn't play that same night, but look, he went all the way through. It was 50 points. So I love that. I just love to see somebody persevere. And that's a big part of tonight's topic about Black and Proud, and us. I want you all to be encouraged. I'm opening up some microphones for some of my members that I need your support tonight, as always. I appreciate you. If your team won last night, let me know. If it didn't, I still want to know. Look at that. Mr. Johnson put his Cash App in there. You want some money, Mr. Johnson? You see, Mr. Johnson? Look at that.
Always.
I know that's right. Thank you for your membership. One of our newest members, y'all welcome him. He will be on Friday morning, I hope. How you doing, Ms. White? Ms. Fleming, I haven't heard you say a word. And I know Ms. McLeod. Y'all are just being quiet tonight. I just, it's okay.
Hi.
Exactly. There you go.
In the house.
There you go. How you doing, Mr. Fleming? Yeah, we got
everybody.
Oh, thank you, Ms. White. Thank you, Frank. Thank you. Yes, indeed. Make sure we got to make Mr. Johnson feel welcome, even if we don't send him any money. He's like, but isn't it funny? Like you set your Zoom, you set your Zoom account up, right, Mr. Johnson? And then it's there, like every time you log into something, unless you like, let me check that. Let me change that real quick. How you doing, Miss Galloway?
I'm good. How are you, JB?
Great. I see you, Q Green. I'm not sure who it is, but I see you. Thank you so much. And then, it It won't let me turn your Ms. Davis, it won't let me turn your mic on. I don't know what's up with that. It's talking about, and if I promote you to a panelist, you're gonna be like, why is she showing my face?
Wait a minute. Hold on.
Oh,
What about now?
oh, good. I hear you. Great. Good job. All right, you, Miss ATL. We are getting all over the country, y'all. We have members everywhere: California, Texas, Georgia, New York. I'm not even embellishing. Maryland, Virginia. That's God. That is God. I appreciate you all so much. Tonight's topic is vital. It's about making the connection between across cultures, making a connection to things that you really don't think about it. Like you never would think about what do James Brown, Jeff Bezos, and JB Bryan all have in common. You know, and here we are like, you know, different. Like we're not even like, you know, Mr. Bezos is older than me. James Brown is older than him. He's a white guy. There's a black man. I'm a black woman. You know, how in the world can we have something in common? And we do, you know, and we do. But I just started writing, and I want to make sure that I have this, you know, in our dialogue tonight. And I want you all to give me feedback on this. But here's my note. The achievements of Black people are taken for granted too often by Black people. We often forget the effort that it takes to persevere in this world. And often, as the ones that are skipped over, as the ones that are avoided, as the ones that are belittled, the sad part is that it happens to us still today. And we don't give each other the compassion and understanding that is required. Now, I was looking at a news story the other day, Mr. Johnson, and it was talking about in Missouri, there's these at least 2 Black men that are in jail and they are innocent. They have been found innocent. Someone else admitted to the crime. There's no DNA connections. There's nothing. They just somebody identified them. People said that they were coerced. They have proof that people were paid to turn them in. And the governor of Missouri will not free these men because of paperwork technicalities. They said it's beyond the statute of limitations of proving your innocence. Can you believe that?
Yes.
Thank you. Somebody say it right. He said, yeah, I believe it. I'm a Black man. I can't believe it. And when my husband told me that he went to the Facebook page of the governor and he said something to him, that showed the difference between, like, I listened to the news story and I was like, gosh, that's horrible. But he heard the news story, he felt the news story, and he responded to it and told him, you got to let those brothers out. We all need to feel that way and react that way. That doesn't give me a pass that he did it. I want to mention it now that we all need to investigate that. Is there anybody else who heard this, that has heard about this at all, that's logged in tonight? Nobody else has even heard about it. So look it up. Yes.
Can you just kind of repeat that one more time? Something got past me. I'm sorry.
In Missouri, there are 2 Black men, at least, that have been found innocent. There's this new prosecutor, and she is going through all of the past cases. And she found that at least 2, there's a whole bunch of things that they're finding, like false, you know, that people were. But these 2 men, like one of them has been in prison 40 years, and he is in a wheelchair. And he's innocent. Mm-hmm. And all they need is the governor to let him out. And it won't, because the Supreme Court turns it down because they said, according to the laws, that it's past the statute of limitation of being found innocent. Isn't that outrageous? It's outrageous. So they have this limitations on how many times you can do the appeal, or you can, so they passed that. So even though they're innocent and someone else has admitted to the crimes, they will not let them out of prison. That's unreal to me.
So it's not about justice, it's about just us.
Just us. So true. And I say that to just say that we have to start pursuing our dreams. We have to stop delaying what we want to accomplish with our life, with our, we feel that if you're going to live your financial life to your fullest, then that means somehow you have to sacrifice your dream. You're not supposed to take any risk anymore. And I see it over and over too often with our men who are asked to not be interested in things that they're interested in, to not pursue the dream. And I have often said to myself that if I were a man, I probably would not have been able to stay in business for 26 years. All these years that I've been in business, most of which have been by myself until my husband married me now. And finally, I have someone who is my teammate who understands how hard I have to work to make this happen. But so many men, don't get that opportunity. So my life experience has been more like what a man goes through. Like when my husband left me with a newborn baby, because I was the woman, had to be the custodial parent. Thank God. I became the custodial parent. But what that did was downshift my dream. So I say to people a lot of times, when all you have to do is pay child support, you're lucky, because all you have to do is work harder. When you have a dream and you have a child, you have to make sure that that child comes first. Your dream gets put off because someone has to make sure that that child is our priority. The other parent has decided it's not their priority right now. So look at James Brown. His mother left him with his father. His father left him with his great aunt, who ran a home for prostitutes. But she loved him. At least she loved him. But he had nothing. James Brown talks about how he was put out of school because he wasn't dressed, like his clothes weren't clean enough. His clothes, he didn't have on appropriate clothes for school, so they sent him home. I'm going to tell you, to live our life to our fullest, we have to take careful management of ourselves and of our dream. Our dream has to become a daily task. And mine always had to be combined with, I got to keep myself healthy. Because I know for these 18 plus years that I was being a single parent, I was going to have to take care of myself because my career is just starting. I couldn't do this when she was little, or at least I was telling myself I couldn't. Because a lot of what we do or don't do is because we don't think that we can do it. But we cannot let up. We can't let anybody come in between you and your dream. They either have to be on your team or they have to get off the bus. They cannot be on your team bus if they don't know how to bounce the ball. You can't just, I'm going to stop. Like, I had to work my business every day to the best of my ability. And there were times where I was paying like $50,000 just for childcare. I was working basically just to make sure that my child was taken care of, because I had to keep the dream alive through 9/11, through the Great Recession, through these things. So when I was like, well, me and James Brown have a lot in common, but Jeff Bezos, he started his business from his stepfather, so still a home that was compromised. But his stepfather adopted him and gave him $250,000 to start a business. Something that me and James Brown just did not get. Right? James Brown was like in and out of jail, everything. It hurt me so much to find out that DMX past was something that was related to drugs. Did y'all hear about that? Mm-hmm. He did have cocaine. That hurt me. James Brown most likely was killed, but his family refused to do an autopsy. But it was not drug related. Praise God. But over the last 15 years, his estate, even though he left instructions that he wanted most of his money to go to a charity, James Brown and Jeff Bezos, very generous, very, he wanted to go to a charity for children who did not have any money to go to school and anything to put on, just like him. He wanted to make sure, right, that he did that. So he said, this is where I wanted to go. And then the rest, mostly for his grandchildren. And the Bible speaks on that. It says, leave your legacy for your children's children. Our first principle of AfroEconomics, legacy, But for 15 years, there were lawsuits from his children, from other people he had relationships. Check it out, y'all. His wife was not really his wife. And because she was still married to someone else. Can you believe that? But they did have a child together. And they did check the DNA, and it was his child. But the way that they had to get his DNA is disturbing to me. So I'm not even going to tell y'all. But but he had $100 million. So say whatever somebody wants to say about him. The man was a genius with his finances. He was a genius and was in control. And one of the most disturbing things as you read his story is that his accountant and his lawyer were getting on his nerves till the day he died. Did y'all know that? Do not allow yourself to have a financial relationship that's not for your betterment. That's what the other day I posted this video. I was talking about that almost $60 million the regulators have fined Robinhood for robbing the hood. And then another 13 million in addition. So that 60 million is just going to go to regulators. That 13 million is going to go to the people that they took the money from. So, eventually who? And most people that probably use that Robinhood app don't even know anything about it. And the family whose son killed himself because they had no customer service probably didn't get anything. They're about to go public. They're going to have that initial public offering. They are going to make money. A lot of money is going to be made. And you don't see that as a major news story. Have any of you heard about that?
I heard they were going public.
No. Did you hear about that fine?
Oh, no.
That is the largest fine by a government regulator of a financial institution in history. In history. And that doesn't even make the news. Come on, y'all. Come on, right? Right, New Black World Order. How you doing? I see you. Greetings back at you. That's amazing. So also, I want to bring out that, okay, James Brown, who we're talking about, a singer, record producer, dancer, major influence on funk music, soul music. He earned the nickname, the Godfather of Soul. was born in 1933 in Barnwell, South Carolina. Do you all know where that is?
South Carolina.
Barnwell. Barnwell. I know where Barnwell is. Seriously. It's scary how small it is. And this man is huge. Isn't that amazing? Barnwell, South Carolina. My father was president of a HBCU down there, like maybe 10 miles from Barnwell. That is one of the most poverty-stricken Black areas on the planet, probably. It's definitely in the United States. Still. But let's just keep it in retrospect. Like, I feel like, and y'all can correct me, but I feel like people didn't hold James Brown in the same esteem as they held Michael Jackson. Kind of like Michael Jackson, they would say, oh, you know, musical genius and stuff like that. Like, you know what I mean? Things where you know, James Brown, they kind of would be condescending and talk about like he could dance and all of that. Correct?
I don't know. They said he was the hardest working man in show business, so
that's right.
It depends on who you.
So who do you think was the richest? Who do you think was the richest at time of death?
James Brown.
You're only saying that because I'm having this discussion, but it's true.
I'm not saying that because.
Why do you think James Brown?
Because Michael Jackson had a lot of people taken from him. Seemed like James Brown was, you know, doing everything within his own circle, but Michael Jackson had a lot of people hands in his money.
So did James Brown, and he was trying to get away from it big time. His accountant, his lawyer were like raping him. He would have had at least twice that much. You know, that in this settlement, it said there was 30 lawyers involved in the settlement of his estate. 30. I probably don't include the ones that were already on his payroll at time of death. His wife, that woman that he thought was his wife, when he died, he had found out that she wasn't his wife, and they were trying to get a divorce, and he was trying to get the paperwork straight. But if you listen to it from her, she says no, he was just going to change his will and make sure it specifically included her. But that never happened. So, but she will still win because she has a son by him. But she says that he was really firing his lawyers. And the wife before she died, had in writing that those same accountant and lawyer were like threatening him because he had IRS problems before. So the accountant was like, if you leave, I'm going to make sure you have tax problems. Isn't that sad? Very possible too. Very possible. Very possible. So, because she had no reason to lie about that. They had already broken up. Like, she was like, I was trying to get him away from those people. But Michael Jackson was worth $236 million when he died, but he owed out $400 million. So that means he really was in a negative net worth of $200 million. But after he died, everything popped up in value to about $1 billion. You really don't know. Isn't that something? But at that time of death, he was broke. It's like Whitney Houston. Isn't that something? Wow. So it makes you think. So let's look at some key points I want to say is that one thing I know from James, I'm going to say 3 things I know from James Brown, and then 3 things from the other JB, Jeff Bezos, since he's like, all up in the news right now. I'm going to say 3 things that I think that Bezos and James Brown have in common, but from Bezos living, what he says about himself. So when we look at James Brown, we know that his work ethic, everything he represents is that work ethic is vital. Do you remember that part in the movie when he said that every instrument in here is a drum? because he was just saying that you got to play every instrument. You got to do everything. You got to do it like your life depends on it. Blow the horn like it's a drum. Do everything. Come at it. You'll never see no drummer, like, you know, unless it's in an orchestra for the soft part. But you know what I'm saying? They're going at it. It's like, play hard. He wanted everybody to be all in. It's just hard when you see the movie, you see, you know, as a Black entrepreneur, that the struggle is real. The struggle is real because their perspective was they felt like cash is always flowing. You know, cash is always flowing. And because he didn't really communicate that well, he didn't say, well, I owe taxes, or I just so-and-so, I don't have it right now. He just wouldn't pay them, I guess, from what they're saying, you know, which is, you know, a challenge for Black business because we don't have the credit lines. Nobody was loaning him any money. You know, there was no PPP, you know, and nobody's giving that to me. I know I'm going through this pandemic. The government is not. Thank God, just thank God, because the government is not giving me any money. It is the members that make this function. Thank God for you all. So the work ethic, think about, he had 100 singles and almost 50 albums that were on the bestseller charts. He broke new ground with live concerts. He did that, like recording an album with the live concert. That was him. That's he had that. He wasn't in for 100 singles, 50 albums. Lord. And the stuff that they had to go through, even their studio time was probably much more grueling than studio time now. A second point is that he knew how to please, you know, everybody that was listening. He had like a superb sense of how to keep everybody entertained. They said that even if he was like in the middle of a song, but if he felt like the audience didn't like the song, he'd stop the song and switch it to another song. He wanted to get that. He wanted to get, you know, make sure that everybody was, that it was like the best show that they'd ever been to. That it was everything that, you know, that they wanted, because as he pointed out, these people were like working in the field all day, especially when he was working the chitlin circuit. He said like they were coming up with money that they had to work outside in the sun, then get some clothes, then try to put it on, you know, and it was like, ain't no way I'm not going to give them all I got. And all of us should have that same work ethic. All of us should. And then, you know, he was passionate about his position in the world. Like once he realized what he was doing, like he went all in. You know, it was his passion, like didn't stop. Like he went after making more and more music, making his band better and better. Like, and I mean, but just imagine, like, no matter how passionate you are as a leader, no matter, you know, how impressive the impact is. Like after King was killed and stuff, and he went on stage and he was able to calm everybody down, and, you know, he started, you know, just doing things like he even, I saw in the research, like they were saying that he supported Richard Nixon, thinking that he was going to help him get rid of his IRS bill. Didn't work. Like he took everything. The IRS like took his plane. I think the only thing that they left him behind was his house. So if he had not had to start completely all over in the 70s, he would have had a lot more than 100 million. That's why AfroEconomics is so important. I feel bad sometimes because like it would never, like a person like James Brown or something, they would never be able to find their way to me, because there'd be too many other people like in between that would stop them from actually getting the help that they need. And I had a couple of my, one of my clients, and her son was going into professional football, and she was saying that, yeah, they had, you know, his agent has set up some people and this and this and that. And I knew it was going to come to a bad end, and it did, because most of the time they're just all making sure that they get paid. They're just all making sure somebody stays in the connection. If anything, you should make sure that you have somebody that's looking out for your best interests. And I have told people that over and over. Don't like get in on a deal and everybody that's in on the deal on the other side, they're referring you. You know, here's somebody, a lawyer, and you're about to sign a contract, and the lawyer with the contract is telling you the lawyer you should talk to about overseeing the contract. There's a connection there. So I asked the client, like, well, how do they? Oh, nah, they would never do that. So approximately how long have you known this person that you say will never do that? They don't even know them. Oh, well, you know. I was like, no, I don't know. No, I don't know. No, I do not know. Look at our track record, y'all. Look at our track record. Look at Jeff Bezos. When he goes up there, who's he bring with him? His brother. His brother. He could have brought anybody in the world. He brought blood. Like, he was like, nah, this guy's been with me. If you can get a family member that you trust, you know you really got something. And I feel like it. I mean, I feel like that. I think we are blessed to be able to develop that type of relationship as members, you know, that I feel like you are my family. I feel, no, not just the legal responsibility that I have for you, but, you know, I have a spiritual responsibility to you. Like there was, I went in to check on something for a client, and at the same time, the client was texting me, and I said, wow, that is amazing. Because, you know, I was like, yeah, I just called them and checked on you. And they were saying that we need to change something. I was like, wow, yeah, I'm going to figure out, I'm going to call them, and I'm going to see what, you know, we need to do in order to do that. No worries. I got that. That's where you need to be. That's where we deserve to be. So Jeff Bezos decides that he's going to give $100 million to Van Jones. Y'all hear about that? $100 million. Y'all ain't hear about that yet, did y'all?
I heard about it. I don't know why.
I know, right? I know, right? They said anybody that'll cry like that, any man that'll cry like a baby on national TV, give him $100 million. But it sounds like it's really like just a flow through thing. They have to have like some sort of charity set up already, like that chef does. So he gets to write off, you know, he's given $100 million to the chef on CNN and another $100 million to him, but he's given it to the organizations that they run in order to give to other organizations that are helping, you know. And I think that's interesting, you know, because some are saying that it's in response to people saying, how are you spending that much money to go? And then to go up and turn around. That's kind of extreme though, isn't it? I mean, 62 miles above the earth, but it was only 10 minutes. Wow. $250,000. I just hope anybody that will spend $250,000 for 10 minutes in the air will also spend $250,000 to feed the homeless people in their area, wherever they live. There's a lot of people struggling, y'all. I'm starting to get the phone calls already. This lady was telling me yesterday, just, she's in the DC area about, what she's going through. And she's a senior citizen on her fixed check. And inflation is high. It's hard. It's hard. You have the same check and the expenses are going up. And the Federal Reserve has said, we're not going to stop it. We're going to give inflation a run. That's what they said. Let it go. But then they only got, what, a 2% raise on their Social Security check? But you're going to let inflation just run? So, let's do what we can. Let's do what we can. The first point is, on this one is finding a way to make a career out of your passion. That's what I get from, Bezos, that he's saying he was passionate about whatever he was passionate about. He believed that he could achieve it. And I believe that as Black people, we have our passion, but somewhere in there, it's so easy for this world to suck it out of us, to just suck the dream over, to just suck the dream out and just move you to the side. And it's, and then somewhere along the way you say, well, you know what, forget about it. But think about that 82-year-old woman that was on that she said she always wanted to be an astronaut. Now she's an astronaut. She would just die and be happy. Huh?
Astronaut.
True. She's an astronaut. But at least she got to space. At least she got to feel the feeling that she wanted to feel. And I wonder if she felt like that man in Soul, though. The man, have you seen that movie Soul? And he's got what he really, really wanted. And he said, that was it. He said, wow, I missed it. Life is about so much more. So I think that, especially as Black people who, if we align our level of success with, oh, I got to be like Bezos, or I'm not a successful entrepreneur, then we're going to lose out on all of the good that we can do. I think that I have to look at it as my conversation with that lady yesterday, taking the time and talking to this lady going through that challenge, maybe added years to her life because she said, wow, someone cares. This lady called me back. I called her and she called me back. Thank you so much for calling me, and not saying, wow, if you don't have the money, I ain't got the time to talk to you. I just, my thing is like, seriously, if a senior citizen calls on me, I don't know. One of my passions was gerontology. And I don't think if I hadn't been in financial services, I definitely would have focused on being a gerontologist. But this is just as important because there's so much financial fraud of our senior citizens, people robbing our seniors. And the sad part of it is the overwhelming majority of the people that rob them are family members. We have to stop it. We have to stop it. Don't hesitate to follow our passions. That's what I pick up from James Brown and Jeff Bezos, both JBs. Don't hesitate. And myself, I tell you, one thing, I may say, well, I thought that would be my complaint. I thought that my life would be easier by now because I'm almost 30 years into this. I thought it would be easy. And I bet that there's a lot of people who have had their businesses almost 30 years. We didn't plan on a pandemic. But the blessing in it is that this is an opportunity to develop relationships that maybe I never would have had. This is an opportunity for us to grow through something that 10 years from now will only be a memory, but we will remember how we stuck it out. every Wednesday night together, how we had our regular meetings, how I kept you on track, how you kept me on track, right? Yes, indeed. How you doing, Almighty? How you doing, Mr. Coleman? Yes, it was because of lifestyle and image to be portrayed. Yes, indeed. So Bezos and James Brown are both very distinctive. You know, they don't care about being themselves. You know what I'm saying? Say it loud. I'm Black and I'm proud. Like, you know, that took heart. That took heart. He, you know what I mean? He said, I'm gonna wear whatever color, I'm gonna do whatever dance, I'm gonna put out whatever energy I want in order to maintain my distinctiveness. Ain't no show gonna be as good as my show. Like, yes, the other day I posted on social media, my social media, I said, I am the greatest in the world. I am the greatest financial advisor in the world. I know this. Praise God. I know that God has me on a mission. And I honestly tell you, if they had like a versus, I'll stand myself up against anybody else that talks about money and see if they got the broad, extensive knowledge from entrepreneurship, investments, insurance, you know what I mean? And do they have a license as I do? So I'll take it on. And tax strategies. I'll take it on. That's what we need, right? Battle of the brains, battle of the financial brains. I'll take it on. I'll take on Warren Buffett. Warren knows what he knows, but he don't know what I know. And I know what he knows. He knows I know what he knows. He's got, you know what I'm saying? But even at my age, I take him on. I take him on. He knows he's had opportunity. He has resources. And given those resources and opportunities that they had, we would be 4, 5, 10 times past that. What we do with limited resources, I've been in business all these years with zero to start with. Zero. And dealing with hell. Come on. Bezos says it's worth it to maintain your distinctiveness, even though it requires continuous hard work. That's what he said. The richest man on the planet. Continuous hard work. So I'm going to stop letting anybody make me feel bad about continuous hard work. Because he said it. James Brown said it. Everybody said it. Anybody has said it. You know, like, even if you get it, do you know how much hard work it takes to keep it? The fun is in the getting. Because once you got it, look, the struggle to keep it, that's the hard part. Ask Michael Jackson. How Michael Jackson going to die with a negative net worth? If that's true, anything is possible. Woo! Being innovative. James Brown, Jeff Bezos, myself, innovative. We have to be. We were doing Zoom before the pandemic hit. Years before the pandemic hit, we were doing Zoom. Right? I saw that I needed to get to you. I saw that it was not cost effective to sit in some space and get you to come in and hand out some cookies and juice, you know what I'm saying? All of that. But Lord knows Zoom now costs about just as much. It gets more and more. I'm telling you, this online stuff will get you. They talking about nickel and diamond. I mean, 100 and 1,000. People be like, oh, Zoom is like $15. No, it's not. When you get on this level and you're doing webinars and you want as many people as you want to be able to come in, no, it's not. They get you. That's when they're making the money. They're making the money. That's okay. That's okay. That's okay. Because to me, That's what you got to put in. That's what you got to do in order to get to that time where, wow, it's easy. It's easy. But what I did in order to make sure that I could be innovative, I stopped being materialistic. I stopped being materialistic. I was wasting money on cars and jewelry and clothes and stuff like that. When I was like, then I stopped. When I stopped wasting my money on expensive cars, then I came out with the book. Then you come out with the workbook. You know what I'm saying? Then you get to have shiny stuff, and you ain't got to worry about somebody publishing. They can't hold me back. They can't hold you back when you dare to be innovative with your own money. And stop waiting for someone else to accept it and like it. You know, who's on like AfroEconomics, Our Black Wealth Matters? Like, how many publishers are excited about making Black people wealthier? You know, if I said something like, why Black people ain't got no money or something like that, then maybe I'd get a publisher. Have you noticed that? As long as it's negative and it focuses on the problem and keeping you into an oppressed mindset, that's cool. But mine is about innovation, about achievement, about entrepreneurship, about the next level, about solutions, about answers, about closing a gap by us going up. You ain't got to come down for us. We don't want you to come down for us. I want to come up. I just want you to just get out my way. I just don't want you to stop anything. I want us all to move forward. That's what we want. That's what innovation does. And then says, Bezos says, sometimes, often actually, in business, you do know where you're going. And when you do, you can be efficient. But in place a plan and execute. I guess he's saying that efficiency, wondering if an essential counterbalance to efficiency, he says you need to employ both. So it's saying that innovation does not create efficiency, but he's saying that sometimes you need to sacrifice efficiency in order to be innovative. And like when they started to do same day delivery on items, he's thinking of that as I can use that as an example. It wasn't very efficient. Some things probably got there late, but he wanted to create something. And by doing that, they became the world's, I know our nation's largest retailer, because you could buy something and get it in the same day. You know, so that you know, what a massive move. But in order to do that and to cross that line and to start doing same day deliveries, what a risk they took. And they operated inefficiently for a minute, but it opened the door for opportunity and innovation. And now everybody else is trying to figure out how to do it. So just because something is not efficient, it doesn't have to be random. It doesn't have to be random. And I was thinking the same. You think the same also for in small business. I was thinking about like going through my emails, and I was like, the email process is not efficient, because it's like sometimes I'll see it, sometimes I won't. And I said, this is what I'm going to do, because sometimes I'll go through the emails and I'll go, oh, okay, and then I have to remember. And then I said, wait a minute, I can flag it. And then I can set up a certain time of day to go back and look at what I flagged. So it may not be efficient, but it certainly ain't random. I'm going to figure that thing out. But it's so true. Like, let's just maximize what we have, even though it might not be efficient. That's what he's saying. Like, don't like give up on the whole process and stop being innovative and start thinking that it can't work and start thinking you're not going to make it. No, these computers are designed to help us work efficiently. Let's make sure we do it. Let's make sure we do it. How are y'all doing? How you doing, Mr. Dixon? So we're I think that my major point I wanted to take out is that I want us to be innovative. I want us to dare to take risks. I want us to work with people that we trust and feel comfortable with. True?
That's true.
I want us to follow our dreams. I want us to follow our dreams. I want us to know that it is possible. I want us to, communicate better, like what we're trying to accomplish, what we want to accomplish, where we want to go. Like but I think that I think that we should do more of looking at a James Brown and how does that relate to us? Looking at a Jeff Bezos and how does that relate to us? That's what they do. That's what is done. Like in academic studies, that's all it's doing is looking at what another study was, and then taking that knowledge from another study and putting it in your study and using it to expand on. And that's what we can do on what worked for them. Now, one thing you can take home from James Brown is that just because he had all of his estate in order, that don't stop your people from fighting over it.
Right. Right.
You got money, those lawyers will do it and take that case and take part of what they inherit to pay for their fee. Because they know you're going to get it. So it wasn't hard for every one of his family members, even people that weren't sure. They thought they were his kid. They came in there, that's my daddy, and they could dance. They probably had to run the DNA test. My mama said, that's my daddy, Oh my goodness. It's amazing. He has one daughter, I don't know her name, but she looks just like him.
Yeah, she does.
You saw her?
Yeah, I've seen her. She looks just like
Oh my goodness. I was like, that's amazing. I don't know. Especially because the way he wore his hair straight like that. Shoot.
Yeah. I've seen it before.
But his youngest looks like Michael Jackson, but yeah. Not when Michael was black, but when Michael was white. Yeah. James Brown Jr., but his daughter, wow, that was amazing.
That's him all over again.
Yeah. But those are the type of things when we meet, I want us to, talk about like what is on your mind? What passions do you have? Am I overlooking something? And then, like in the Money God portal, which is the financial planning software, like it's okay. It's a computer, it's nice, it's expensive, it's included in membership. I think it gives us a conversation piece for our beginning, but I think that we can accomplish so much more when I can get into your heart and what is really important to you. And then I can really help you. I can really help you with investment selections and everything. Almighty, what did you say? It's hard to tell people around me this. I'm 29. I grew up literally in the face of tech, and they expect people to tell them how all the time. It's annoying because my gen, millennials, don't research. Exactly. They always want validation before trial. Isn't that the truth? Yeah. And I have a entrepreneurship membership. No, and they have two things going on. Y'all see me, y'all see and the entrepreneurship membership is great, I believe, for millennials that want to start their own business, because when I started my business in my 20s, I didn't have anybody to talk to. And I feel like entrepreneurship gives them an inexpensive way to have somebody to throw stuff by, except for a family member. Because when I was starting my business, all my family members were telling me was no, don't do it. Don't quit your job. Are you crazy? And one of the truest things that I've ever heard said is that some of the worst advice that you'll ever get comes from people who truly love you. You know, because they want you to be safe. They want you to be happy. You know, they want, and they think that security equals safety. And especially when you're a female, we're not even really taught that it's okay to just dream. If you do, it's because you want to be a model, or you know what I mean, something like that, like not, or dancer, or singer, you know, an actress. But if you want to be a businesswoman and you're a female, they're not, you know, it's a lonely, lonely experience that I've had. And I don't want any other lonely Black entrepreneurs out there. I believe it's only the grace of God that I'm still in business, because there are so many years that I had no one to talk to. So many, because you don't see, like, sometimes other people see you as way more than what you see yourself. So because of their own issues, they might not help you. They may be intimidated by you. They might be, you know, whatever. You need to get yourself out of that thinking somebody's going to help you, and they have some sort of entitlement to it, and put yourself with a professional like myself that does it for a living. That's what you deserve. That's what you deserve. Yes, New Black World Order said breaking comfort zone. Yes, break it. We have to. We have to. So you all have a wonderful, wonderful night. Please reach out to me, jb@jbbryan.com, jb@afroeconomics.com. Go to this is afroeconomics.com. Hit the subscribe button. And there's also a free complimentary introductory membership that lets you get into all of the online stuff for 30 days. So don't sleep on that. And then step on up to the official membership so that we can work one-on-one. This is no video program. We work one-on-one. And yes, there are enough hours in a day for us to get this done. And the way that I did it is, what did I tell y'all last year? 2021, I focused on talking to members. And I'm going to tell y'all, I've stuck to that plan. I serve the members, I talk to the members, and I do that. Found myself last year talking to a whole bunch of strangers most of the day, and then the members get what's left over. So no. Be as efficient as possible. As Jeff Bezos said, stick to the plan as well as possible. So I appreciate you all. So join, get your place. Get your place. Thank you, Miss Davis.
Is it milk and cookie time?
Huh?
Is it milk and cookie time?
It's milk and cookie time. That's right. That's right. That's right. That's right. That's right. Exactly. I hope you do. I hope you have like some nice oatmeal cookies, some raisins.
Nice oatmeal.
Oh my God. I know that's right. Don't you be making that sound, Bonita. That's right. Y'all have a good night. All right. All right.
Good night.
Good night.